and welcome to Talk to Trev. I've got the very fucking heavy, really fucking heavy. I mean, jeez. Okay, right. Okay, Human Nebula, okay, from Pretoria, South Africa, Johannesburg, South Africa, right. Human Nebula, today you released the cover version of Justin Bieber's Baby. I watched it this morning at 9 o'clock. I thought, yeah, let's just wake up with that. Well, fuck me. Oh, jeez, dudes, why Justin Bieber?
Why not?
Yeah,
Exactly. Why not Justin Bieber?
I mean, I guess if you want to go the complete scale and opposites of everything, then I guess that would be the route to go, right?
yeah, I guess so. I think we chose it because of that exact contrast.
Yeah.
You know, what is the furthest we could get away from who we are, and how could we bring that back into metal?
I mean, okay, so let me get this right. Okay, this is new for me. This is this deathcore, progressive deathcore, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's
Okay.
called Progressive Deathcore.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
we don't know.
you don't know. Well, this is
of metal.
okay. Well, that's interesting. I mean,
Well,
I mean,
makes
it's
sense,
yeah, it does make sense, and it is extremely popular around the world. So, I mean, you guys are onto something. Not everybody gets an SA Metal music nomination as well. So, I mean, that must have been sort of like a bolt out of the blue for you guys.
No,
It
definitely.
was wonderful.
Definitely.
And what was that for?
For best EP for 2018, so that was pretty cool. Best metal EP, of course.
Okay, I mean, you guys, what is the history of Human Nebula? Because guys haven't been around for all that long.
Yeah. Take it away, Gareth.
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay. Basically, I met Kyle at Copa, and even way back then we were both huge fans of Periphery, and then we heard Thy Artist Merger is coming to town, and then Kyle told me he's gonna take his friend Tim there, so I was like, okay, sick. And he's telling me like what a badass guitarist he is, and then pretty much after watching Thy Artist Murder live and mixed with such a fondness for prog, that week, I think, straight after that show, we were like, fuck it, let's start our, let's slam those two things we love together and let's make our own band. So, and then Human Nebula was born. Yeah.
Gareth, I wanted to speak to you quickly now about the vocals, because I've got this thing. I'm not a hater, but your voice, speaking voice, sounds completely and utterly different to your singing voice. What the fuck, man? I was expecting like this mountain man fucking vocal chord or something.
What's up, guys?
Yeah, like that.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
exactly.
I call it third gravy.
He really does.
It's
He's not calling that just for the interview. When I tell him to like add some sauce, he's like, "You mean throat gravy?" And then he just nails it.
Yeah. It's
Follow the
It's
gravy.
so funny because I used to work at a bar, and people would say that all the time because I'm like quite a small dude, and yeah. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you.
How did
I
you?
guess it's just indigestion.
How did you suddenly like realize, okay, well, fuck, I can scream like a bear? How did you get to that point?
Sure. It's really hard to pin it down to one moment, and even today I don't consider myself there yet. I feel like I'm still learning and growing, trying to grow my vocals and shit like that. But oh man, it was a whole bunch of different things. I jammed for this other band, High Rate, and they really encouraged me to step up and be a front man. And I guess like on top of that, everyone just screams in the car when they're driving, and then people look at you and you stop doing it for a second, and then you get back into it. And I don't know. I don't know what moment happened for me to do this, but I guess encouragement from friends is probably the best way to put it.
And the guitars. Now, I've been listening for the last couple of days. DEVO sent everything through to me, and I've been listening to the last couple of days. There's like jazz elements in there. There's like chilled out. What the hell? I'm trying to like pinpoint exactly. I mean, it's not. Is it progressive deathcore? Because it's Andromeda. Let's take Andromeda for a moment, because there's like suddenly a stop, and you just get into this like total jazzy guitar sound, and then it just goes back into it. What are your influences? Now, I'm asking now, obviously, to Kyle and Tim. Your influences for this, because there must be something in there in the background.
What else, Timmy?
You mean like influences in general, or
Yeah, I mean,
what
like,
specifically
yeah,
for Baby?
no. What you're just all your influences.
That's tricky because I think we all have this habit of taking direct influence from whatever we're listening to at the time and then just applying it to what we're writing, because it can be a case of like, hey, let's go for like a Ocean's 8 Alaska vibe for this part, or let's go super slammy for this part. So it's constantly changing and evolving, but I think everyone's got that handful of strict influences that they really try and base their style on. Probably got one or two myself. I think the biggest one is probably Jason Richardson. Dude's a fucking maniac. So if anyone
Yeah, he's
who's
great.
never heard him, you know, if you play guitar, you need to hear what this guy does, and it will probably change your life.
Okay.
But yeah, that's about it for me. What do you say, Cal?
Yeah. So obviously what Tim explained there, that's exactly how the writing process actually just goes. Like we'll kind of like lay the songs out in front of us, like very bare bones, and say, okay, cool. That's exactly actually how we did Baby. Come to think about it, so I remember just like saying, okay, cool. The next part is yours. So just make it something crazy. Make it like Ocean's 8 Alaska. That's why if people actually go and listen to the rap section in Baby, how we did it, the music doesn't make any sense at all. You just really have to listen to what Gareth is singing. But if you actually listen to the music, it's all over the place. There's no structure, and that's what makes it amazing. So, influence-wise, if we're speaking of Andromeda, especially,
Or just in general.
In general, yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's basically just a lot of how the current gen scene is, or progressive metal scene is now. I guess it's just very Veil of Maya-ish, and Periphery especially. They also have these like very gentle jazz breaks, I guess, if you want to call it like that. And yeah, we just really, like Tim said, we just really get like a direct inspiration off of that, and we just apply it to whatever we're doing and see how it fits.
Kyle, what accent is that?
This is my American accent that I just like pulled it out of the cupboard because I thought, okay, cool, it works best for the Zoom meetings.
Bring out the French pal. I think
The time I met him, I was like, bro, where are you from? And he's like,
I'm from Springs, bro.
Oh God. Oh, oh. Why the American? Why couldn't you gone for something odd, like Russian or something?
the Springs accent isn't flattering.
They do not really have the best Starbucks in Russia, so I just chose to associate myself with the best country in the world.
Comrade. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. That'll be. I'll need at least 3 hours then to interrogate you. Then, if that's the case. Okay, so let's talk about how you guys have been handling COVID. Let's get that fucking nasty shit out the way first before I get onto the serious questions like what you like to drink.
Super cereal.
well, if you guys must know, right now I'm having a straw rum and coke.
Oh, fuck off.
Oh,
Yeah,
man, that's
dead serious. The 80% was a present from my dad because he heard I was dry, and now I think he's trying to kill me.
No, you're not.
Let's pay back for all that growling that's been going on here.
Yeah.
that throat gravy. It just adds.
Yeah, that gravy's going to get a lot thicker now. Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay,
Double
cool.
C.
Some of the other bands that I ask, I have like very basic set questions, like what is the craziest shit that's happened on stage? Okay, so go. Whoever wants to answer can answer it.
Gareth has some amazing stories. Go.
Go.
There's a few. I don't know.
Tell the one about you getting smacked in the head with the bass guitar. Do that one.
That wasn't on by mistake.
Yeah,
No.
probably not. Yeah, but I can't tell you how many times my hair has been caught in someone's headstock, and then they just like yank out a dread of it.
Oh,
You know, so
ouch.
that really sucks. That really sucks. But I gotta say, one of the craziest onstage stories I have is that this one time,
If
we
you
were
say
gonna
this one
collab
time at
with-
band camp right now, I'm going to switch
Yeah,
the
there we go.
microphone off.
Exactly.
Ben comes
One of my friends is gonna come on and do like a surprise guest piece, but instead of him coming on, it was a very drunk elderly woman who just walked on stage, snatched the mic from him, and sang terribly. And everyone was just kind of like, "Oh, I don't know what to do because you can't. I don't know." It was just awkward. And then she flashed the crowd, and then yeah. And then walked off like nothing happened, and then I don't know, everyone was just frozen, and that's one of them.
And then COVID broke out.
Shit, that is definitely
Yeah.
not a good story. How old was she?
Yeah, it was embarrassing. I don't want to
Gentlemen-
assume,
But
but
a gentleman
funny
never
enough,
asked. Well, I have to ask. I mean, you could tell by if they
Trev,
were
do you have,
hanging
like, a
low or
notepad?
something.
Like,
You know?
are you like writing down
did.
like notes of this woman, trying to contact her? How old
I'm
is
very
she?
protective.
You got a number,
I-
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 911. But
What a fucking comeback. That's a classic right there. Yeah.
I overheard her, funny enough, early in the night talking about she like lost her kids in a custody battle, so she was there to like drink that pain away. So I think
Right.
she was going through something rough, and then proceeded to sing about it to the rest of us. So that was,
Damn.
you know,
Damn. Well, like, there you go then. Okay, so so let's ask the next one. Whoever out of you and Kyle, Tim and Kyle, you can choose. What is the weirdest drink you've had on stage?
That's Tim. Definitely Tim.
Why do you say that?
Because Tim, just explain to the crowd real quick.
Hudson doesn't say no.
No, not usually.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it counts as a drink, but if
Oh my god. See,
Okay.
and
Well, we might have to
Tabasco
censor
sauce.
this conversation, I think. Okay, here we go.
No, it's at least not bodily fluids. I mean, I don't know.
Okay.
Does it count if it was
Oh, how
thrown at you?
disappointing.
No, but I believe it's called a Mexican asshole.
Ooh.
Sounds spicy.
Sounds like another gravy train for Gareth.
Oh my goodness, no.
Just around the rim. But it's
just
half
around the
tequila
rim.
and half Tabasco sauce.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh, that sounds quite nice.
Yeah, super tasty.
Yeah. Who would have thought the Mexican's arsehole would be tasty?
Depends on the mix.
And you don't know until you try it.
How many walls have they been over?
That's one sweaty asshole there. Right. Okay. So we've gone through the influences and everything like that. Okay. So what is the okay? This is for Kyle now. What is the stupidest thing that's ever happened on stage to you? Oh God, there can't be that many.
No. That's why I'm actually sighing. I don't really think there's been a lot. There's no joke answer to this, and I feel like we were on quite a roll giving joke answers.
What a fucking letdown.
Yeah, so
Step
I'm
up,
like,
Kyle.
dude, that's why I'm
Let's get
sighing.
serious.
Like, no, like on a serious note, like the stupidest thing that's ever happened is like, I don't know, string snapping. That's kind of stupid,
Okay.
but yeah, that's about.
What's
that's
the
really
funniest thing that's happened to you on stage?
Somebody fell on me. Like somebody from the crowd like was really into it, and then they were just like jiving, and then next moment I looked up, and this like guy that's like almost 2 times taller than I am just like falls on me, and then I fall onto my amp, and basically he's lying on top of me while I'm playing guitar, and I thought, okay, cool. I guess we can cuddle, but I prefer it after the show, but I don't know.
Okay, all right. That's a nice story. It's not too
Yeah, I miss that guy actually.
bad. You get his number?
Yeah, I do. I know.
Oh, there you go. Awesome. Happy ending for everybody. Great.
We still talk.
Rig rundown. Okay, let's start off with the guitars. Okay, you guys like Ibanez guitars, right?
Well, yeah, I guess.
Or Ibanez.
Is Ibanez
What is it?
listening?
Is it Ibanez or Ibanez? I'll fucking tag those fuckers, I'm telling you.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
I think if Kyle says that, it's Albany.
I say it with my American accent.
Is that the
It's
Springs
Ibanez.
version?
It's Ibanez.
No, the Springs, yeah, the Springs version is Ibanez.
Ibanez.
The Ibanez.
From Jamaica. Who would have thought it? Fucking hell.
Ibanez
Oh my
books.
gosh.
Yeah, man, from Ibanez. Okay, cool. All right. So I'm not, because the drummer and the bassist aren't here, so I'm not going to bother to even go down that road. And it's just typical that the drummer and the bassist isn't here. You know, typical, always late.
Oh my.
No, shout out to Dale and Gavin. Don't worry, we'll get you at some point. Don't worry. I just want to find out the recording process behind the single that was released today, "Baby." How did that get done?
Yeah, actually, interesting enough. Like we released a video of that exactly explaining how we did it. It's on the channel as well.
Okay,
So
on the YouTube channel.
it's on the YouTube channel. Yeah,
Okay,
like
the
it.
links will be in the description below, people, so you can click on those to go find out how that was done. So we can just move on to the next fucking question then.
Perfect.
Unless you want to answer, you can answer it if you want.
Kyle, Kyle, give us a rundown, bro.
Oh, don't
Give
be
you a
like Michael.
rundown. All right. So basically, we had the initial idea to do this song, of course, and then me and Tim got to the writing. How we basically got down doing the writing is I was actually here in Springs now. I'm currently here in Springs. I'm not in Pretoria where my studio usually is. So I'm here in Springs. I was working off of a laptop, basically just programming the drums off of the ideas that I had. I think obviously in the description you guys can see that we worked with a Mozambican R&B hip hop producer called Matty G, which is actually a very close friend of mine. So I just gave him basically the order of like making this trappy intro beat, because I obviously have no idea how to make that stuff as good as he does, and then just started programming drums to it, to obviously all the ideas, and then I'll record a guitar idea, basically send the stems directly through to Tim so that he can obviously work his magic on that. And then, like I said earlier, we'll just go back and forth. I'll basically say, okay, cool, I'll take the verse section and the chorus. You can take the second chorus verse and then the bridge or whatever, and we'll work like that. So yeah, and then basically when I got back to Pretoria a while back, I just recorded the bass on a very good friend of mine as well, Chris Anopoulos, who plays for Technopath in Vulvodynia. He was kind enough to let me record the bass on his amazing 5-string Fender jazz bass. So that was awesome. And then,
Beautiful.
Yeah, and I got Mr. Throat Gravy in the studio as well, and then we just laid down some vocals, and that's basically the very bare minimum rundown of that.
No, I was just going to double up on Kyle and say the boys would record their raw DI and then send it to Kyle. And then Kyle and I lived together, and that's how we did the vocals.
Yeah,
Okay.
In this car.
Okay, cool. I want to ask you now. A couple of podcasts that I've done, I've asked musicians, particularly the drummers, programmed versus live drums tracking. Where do you guys stand on that?
I would say live if you can.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
But
if
for
it's not
Baby,
an
you did
option-
program, right?
Yeah.
Obviously,
Because
due
we
to the certain, due to the certain situation, like, and actually due to our constant situation, we don't have all the necessary like equipment to go and record like proper live drums, you know, at a cost-effective rate. Because otherwise it'll be really tough to kind of like put live drums on that. But definitely that's our main preference I'd say as a band, and also individual musicians. We just love the authentic sound of that. But obviously if you got what you got, you know, you got to make it work. You can't let the train stop, you know.
When this ends, and the next stuff that you're going to do, and we're going to touch on that now, is are you going to go into a studio and track the live drums, or are you going to stick with the programmed drums?
For Baby or for
No,
upcoming stuff?
for upcoming stuff, yeah.
For future music.
Yeah, future stuff, yeah.
material,
What are you going to
If
do?
we can, and this is blown over, would definitely prefer to track live drums.
I know that everybody has their their financial limits and things like that. Some don't, so they can afford to be in a studio and do stuff like that.
Of course.
You know, so
Yeah.
it boils down to financial, what you can afford, and
Yeah.
availability and everything like that.
Exactly.
I want to find out from you guys, how difficult is it when you go out to play live at clubs and gigs and locations, wherever that you play, to play on other people's equipment?
I'd say not at all.
Why is that?
I've never had any problems really, and especially depending on who it is that's providing the equipment or whose equipment that you're playing on. The guys in Facing the Gallows have always been really cool with letting us play on their rigs, and it always sounds and feels great. The guys in Vulvodynia have always been really cool and letting us play through their rigs, and it's always sounded great. So I'd say no.
I think the point Tim is trying to
general
make here is that
background
everybody else's gear is better than ours. Never a problem. It's never a problem.
Then they'll let you play on their stuff.
And the vocalist just sits back and let them all fight it out.
It's entertaining.
Okay, so Pillars of Society. I listened to that the last couple of days. How do you guys get so fucking technical? I'm talking about the guitars and, well, I mean, just you guys in general. How can you hear? Like, okay, let me ask this question to Gareth. How can you hear when to start singing?
Oh wow, yeah, it's a labyrinth to navigate through. But you know, because I am such a huge fan of Periphery, I've often wondered that about Spencer Sotelo. There's a bunch of songs where like no sections repeat and he just nails it. But I do jam guitar as well, so I think that really helps me. I think it helps me to know where the one of this section is and the one of this section is. And
Right.
And I don't know. I think Kyle and Tim just get me, and I think I just get them. So it works out.
Yeah.
It just works. I don't have to really think too hard. They give me a track and I'll sit with it, and I don't know. It seems to fall in place. I think when you got the right members, it's easy.
And Veil was the first single that you guys released. Is that correct?
Yes.
That's
it
also. Isn't it?
Oh no, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's they were all
for the new stuff.
Yes.
It is the new single, for the new album coming. But the very first single we did was off of Progressive Creation, so that was Get Sick.
Get Sick. Now that's the one song that I've played over and over a couple of times. That's a good fucking song. That.
Thanks.
I mean that's like whenever somebody or like Devo or sends me bands to do this sort of chat thing with, always go through the albums and listen, and then I start adding to my metal playlist or to my rock playlist or whatever. And Get Sick is currently got 3.5 stars, and it's in my metal playlist. Not that I'm saying that the others aren't great, but Get Sick stands out. And I've seen on some of the set lists that you guys have posted up on your Facebook page, and everything will be in the description below. You can click on there and go and find out more about Human Nebula. Get Sick is often quite there, and this brings me to my next question. When you guys play live, you haven't released a whole bunch of stuff. How long do you usually play for?
Incidentally, the majority of the gigs we land are just half-an-hour slots. That's been working in our favor till we write new material. Because
now what's happening?
Once we had that's it. We were just lucky that when we started out, we were just under 30 minutes, and most of the gigs we play is a half-an-hour slot. So we haven't had to push the bill yet, but we do have much more stuff now. Thank goodness.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So I was just going to ask, what have you guys got coming up next for Human Nebula?
I think right now at this stage, there's a lot of uncertainty surrounding lockdown and band members' movements to do stuff like that. So I would say just writing and recording where we can. But in terms of playing any shows, we really don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. We haven't really been actively looking for anything, not even for next year, because we just want to get music out online,
right?
And until the air clears.
No, that makes obviously makes sense, because we could be in lockdown until 2021. At this stage, it looks very likely. Although on Monday we can go out and buy booze, so that's a good thing.
Woo!
There we go. Priorities are set straight and square on that one. You say that just keep recording, well, not recording, but writing new material. Kyle, Tim, anything penned down or anything like that?
There's actually a bunch of material that's already written. It just really needs to be kind of finalized and just finished. But there's pretty much a whole album of material that's just there to be worked on.
How long will it take?
Well, like I don't. You know what? I'm gonna confess. I need to catch up to the boys, because Kyle and Tim have written a bunch of stuff and recorded a bunch of stuff. So I'm slowly putting together the vocals for each track. So there's a whole bunch of content. I just need to get off my ass and do some vocals.
So are we talking about a 2021 release?
We hope so.
Yeah.
I think it's highly
We
possible.
initially, like last year, or even in the beginning of the year, I think. No, last year. We planned on actually doing the entire album this year, but obviously now due to this entire situation now, I think everybody's plans have changed drastically. So I think everybody's just taking like a little bit of a back foot and kind of like just evaluating the situation, making sure everything's like really polished this time. So I think we've kind of gotten a little bit more time now. So I think next year would be a perfect time to kind of like release an entirely fully fledged album that really kind of like says who we are. Because even if you listen to the single Andromeda, I'd personally say that it really doesn't sound like anything else on the EP that we've released earlier, So I think for the new stuff, it's really gonna be like Human Nebula defined, if you would put it like that. So and now we just have more time to work on that.
That's a lot of the reasoning beyond why we decided to do a cover now, because we want to work on material.
Yeah, time. Exactly. Yeah.
We don't really have the means to do the original material now with the kind of seriousness that I think we want to go. So
So when you wake up in the morning, do you suddenly go, "Hey, fuck, I've got a riff idea. Let me just put that down on." I mean, what do you record it on? Do you just use your phones to record a riff and send it to your mate and say, "There you go. What do you think?" or something like that?
I don't know if Tim can actually remember this, but because when we were actually writing the EP, we'd constantly like just record ourselves like mouthing riffs like a bunch of fools, like these like very outrageous like genty riffs. Exactly. So I'll be like, exactly.
Pick up a pancake.
It'll just be like these stupid voice notes, and then eventually we'll have time to sit down and just go through these voice notes. We'll end up like laughing at ourselves more than actually trying to like salvage riffs out of that. So yeah, I think that's
sometimes
it
was
differs.
like sometimes there was actual writing sessions where we would sit and write together, or one of us would have a part ourselves, or record it over the phone, or make a video of it. But it's really down to the moment, what you have at your disposal at the moment to capture that idea before it drifts away.
That is very true, because even if I have to like sit and think now, just for a stupid example, a song like Great Escape on the EP, I can't for the life of me remember, or even any song on that EP for that reason, I can't remember how we actually got to like write songs like that. I think it was just like super spur of the moment. You just sit and you just hit record, you just write, and it just goes. Yeah, we sat for so long and trying to like put these things together, and then we can't even like remember one thing like on how we put it together. It just happens.
Why is Gareth laughing?
Because these boys are just so extreme. They're downplaying themselves. They fully produce tracks to the maximum, and they go until the early hours of the morning just writing and recording and producing. And they're just awesome. I don't know why I'm laughing.
Well, we've got a few minutes left, another 5 minutes or thereabouts. So I want to just simply ask, how do you think it's going to be perceived, the Baby single?
Hopefully not as the original song was.
No, you want. Well, depends who you ask. The financial
most
people
hated
or
song. Yeah.
The original got like 1 billion views.
Yeah, but it also got like 1 billion dislikes. So.
Yeah.
it probably got 1 trillion likes, or maybe a million dislikes.
That's also true. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
what point do you get to when you say, "Well, fuck, I've sold my soul here," or doesn't that really come into play?
No.
Man, I can tell you. Well, I can't speak for the others, but I was shaking my head the entire time because my whole memory of the incident is like, "Hey Gary, you want to do a Bieber song?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm down." And then before I knew it, it was like recorded and produced and whatever, and then I did vocals the next day. And I was like, "What just happened? I feel like I've been flash grenaded."
Did that shit just get real? Fucking hell.
Yeah, it got super real, man. Like in 48 hours, I was doing vocals for it. Once they showed me the track, I was like, "Oh my god! Like, how did I get here?"
I think the strangest thing is it's like a, how can I say, it's like the worst fucking song in history, but it's done by an awesome fucking band. So it's kind of weird. It's kind of like I like to dislike it.
Yeah.
Any other covers in mind you think that you might put out while we're still in this whatever stage we're in, stage 4, stage 3?
That's for us to know. That's for us to know, and for you lads to find out.
Come on.
We do. We do have one in the pipeline, but we're going to be those guys, and we'll let you know when it's ready.
Okay, is it going to come out soon?
Soon enough.
Soon enough. Soon enough. A month? 2 months? A week? Tomorrow?
Let's say we're bargaining.
One of those, yeah.
On one of those.
That's a great help. That. It'll be one of those, somewhere. Pick anyone.
Or in between.
Or in between, yeah. That sounds about right. I just want to say the albums, the singles and the EP is is new for me, a new sort of form of musical that I'm getting into it quite a bit, and I'm not listening with those deaf ears. I'm listening now with open ears and taking on board what's actually being done in the scene is pretty fucking awesome, and the musicianship between you guys is quite stellar. And dare I say it, I'm becoming a fan of deathcore, progressive deathcore. So there we go.
Wow.
Awesome, man.
There you
Awesome.
go.
Thank you very
Awesome.
much.
Well, guys, we got Gareth, Kyle, and Tim from Human Nebula. What does it mean, Human Nebula?
I can tell you what it means to me, if it helps. But I remember distinctly around the time like we were going over band names and stuff. One of the original names we had was the Exticles before we got to Human Nebula. Then we had Cube Hammer. At the time it didn't work out.
Cube Hammer is my favorite.
I was just going to say, you got my vote for Pube Hammer right off the bat.
I loved Cube Hammer as well. Don't count it out yet. You might see it.
A side project.
Side project.
But I remember like one of the big points of discussion was that blue dot fighter, that NASA blue dot fighter, and kind of got into the lines of like we are the universe experiencing itself. I remember this conversation. Maybe it was just, but still. And something about that just sounded so right for what we were doing, and it just felt right at the time. I don't remember exactly who had the name Human Nebula specifically, but it just seemed to work with what was going on. I think it was Gary. Was it you? Was it you or Carl? I don't know.
No, it was Kyle that came up with the name, but your description is right on the money, dude.
That's exactly perfect, yeah.
Okay, there we go. There we have it. Human Nebula. Jeepers. Progressive deathcore band from Pretoria, South Africa. Who would have thunk it? Awesome, guys. Thank you so much for taking the time out to chat. And sorry it's such a short time. Seems to go by so bloody quickly, these things. So I just want to thank you for taking the time out on an evening to have a chat with me, and wishing you the best of luck with The Baby, the song that I like, dislike. And I hope you have an awesome rest of year ahead, and that we get to hear much more from you all.
Thank you
Thanks so
very
much for
much.
having
Thank you for having us. We really appreciate it.
Not a problem.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so
Cheers.
much for having us. It's been sick. Thank you so much.
Alrighty, man.